Welcome back, everybody, to Make Your Good Business Great. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Lois McCullogh, who is the CEO of Busy Beavers Team. So this is an organisation that she started to assist all of us overworked, sometimes stressed out, don't know what we do when we want to automate and we want to give things away to somebody else to help us, but where do we even begin? So welcome, Lois. Hello.
Hello, Kim. How are you? And
great, thank you. I'm so thrilled to have you because we have been speaking to a lot of, a lot of different, say, business coaches or automators or, companies out there that have given us great advice as to how to document our systems and automate them. But, how do we automate? So I'm so pleased to have you to tell us exactly how we're going to do that.
Automation, yeah, that certainly is what takes the stress away. Because if you can not have to think about it, then you can focus on the more important stuff that you do have to think about. Yeah,
that's right. The working on the business rather than in the business. So to begin with, Lois, why don't you tell us a bit about Busy Beavers Team and your journey so far?
Sure. So the Busy Beavers Team is, as the name suggests, a team of people, and we are very busy beavers. So basically, we are a bunch of really awesome women at the moment, although who knows, we may have some men shortly. A bunch of, or a team of people who do project management. We're virtual assistants, basically doing all of the tasks that people either don't have time to do, don't know how to do, don't want to do, and just want to contract it out, basically.
Yeah, fantastic.
And we do that for people all around the world, so in all different countries, and that's the beauty of technology these days. And like you say, with automation, automation, it doesn't matter where you reside or what time of the day or night it is for you, work can be happening.
Yeah, and that's a great it's a great bonus for all of us, technology these days, that we can work from anyone, with anyone all over the world. It's awesome.
I know, the world is such a small place.
Yeah. And so how did you begin Busy Beaver Team?
Okay, it's funny because it kind of gave birth to itself.
Yeah.
It was something that I've been in the online business now for probably the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm an entrepreneur myself. I have a coaching business myself. I'm a life transitions coach. So I've spent many years helping people and being in this online industry and using virtual assistants and automating my own coaching business. Busy Beavers Team was born because I identified through talking with a lot of my coaching clients that there's a lot of amazing people in the world with incredible skills, and sometimes through, or for whatever reason and through no fault of their own, sometimes they are out of work, they maybe their mother's at home, they could do with a bit of extra money, but they can't go to work full time in a real job. And I thought, it'd be so great if we could use the skills that these people have so that they earn a little bit of money. We help other people out. Gee, I know a lot of entrepreneurs in the world in different countries, and I'm the person in the middle. Wouldn't it be cool to put these people together? And it's a win-win, My peers who are entrepreneurs and business owners get the help they need. My clients who could use some money, great skills, have some work, and it's just a fantastic kind of model. And that's how it was born. So it was born, and then word of mouth, it just took off, and the team grew, and here we are today.
Terrific. That's wonderful. And what have been the biggest challenges for you to overcome?
The biggest challenge, honestly, has been massive growth very quickly.
Yeah.
And keeping a hand on the what's going on and where, and communicating with everybody, and making sure that we don't forget things, and that everybody is informed about what's going on, and that we have systems in place to make things easy.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't a company that started and then we went out to find clients.
Yep.
We didn't already have the infrastructure there. Basically, the clients came first. We grew very quickly, and because there's so much work happening, almost backpedaling to go, wow, we need to really get our systems sorted. But we've got so much work on. How can we get our systems sorted? So it's really about prioritizing. No, the systems are really important, because if the systems aren't there, then we're going to let somebody down, and that can't happen. That's just not negotiable. So that has been the biggest challenge, is juggling, setting up systems, doing the work, keeping everybody happy, not letting anybody down. And fun challenges to have.
Yeah.
When I first started, it's funny, because I said to a friend, my worst nightmare would be that this thing takes off and I'm going, oh my goodness, I got too much work. I mean, what a great nightmare to have. Yeah, it's very exciting, very exciting.
And so you talk about putting systems into place, mm-hmm. and in staying in integrity and communicating. Do you use tools to do that? Like, have you got some good tips for, the people viewing us today?
Absolutely. And one of the most wonderful things that I think, if anybody is working on projects, so for example, we have multiple clients and I have multiple beavers in my team.
Yeah.
And it's important that, and sometimes one client will have several beavers working on a project. Sometimes it's just, one-on-one. So how does everybody stay in touch with what's going on? And there's multiple documents firing around, there's multiple, there's images coming and going, there's design happening, there's emails flying around, there's questions being asked. How do you keep a handle on that?
Yeah.
So there's a really, really cool project based software that we use called Basecamp.
Yep.
So project, you might have heard of it. So a project management tool called Basecamp, and there's other ones out there, but we looked at several and decided that suited our needs best, because it is a communication platform as well as a place to house the project.
Yeah.
It means that we can live chat with everybody, we can talk to the clients within it, we can house all the documents all in one place.
Yeah.
We can email.
And you can talk to your whole team through it as well?
Pardon me?
You can talk to your whole team through that as well, so everybody has visibility on the communication?
Yeah, if they're invited into the project, they have visibility. So if somebody is not part of that project, then they don't have to see what's going on with that project. So you can, and it's a bit, I liken it to Facebook. It's kind of like, if you imagine what Facebook is like, where you have your wall where you're posting things that everybody can see. Then you have the messenger chat element where you can just one-on-one talk to people. Mm-hmm. Then you have the place where you can upload files and photos. So it's a similar kind of thing to that.
Yeah.
So there's like a project wall where the whole team involved can just have a running conversation, and there's a record of all that conversation there that you can go back to. There's a chat element where you can actually just fire, if somebody's working on it there and then, you can be firing live chat backwards and forwards with questions and answers. There's somewhere where you can house all the documents, all the photos, everything that is involved in that project, and everybody can access it. Then there is also what they call client side. So that's the team all doing that.
Yeah.
They choose that your client is or isn't involved in all of that.
Yeah.
Or there's a client side where you can just flick off emails or communicate with the client right within that platform, and it just goes straight to the email inbox. So you don't have to go into your email and then back out and then, it just...
Terrific, terrific. So if anybody out there has a team of people in their office, that would be a good project management tool to use, which would sharpen communication up within the office.
And that's the thing. It's like we don't work in one office.
Yeah.
We are all in remote locations. So this is our office.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's like we are in the same building.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And as far as your clients go, what do you find their biggest challenges are? Is there a commonality with them?
Yes, it's like most entrepreneurs. They are, a lot of them, just starting out. So they're trying to do everything on a tight budget.
Yeah.
And as you would know, you can't do everything yourself. You don't know how to do everything yourself. And at some stage, you have to start working on your business, not in your business. And so that is the biggest challenge for them. It's like, what do I let go? What do I retain for myself?
Yeah.
And when do I start paying somebody else to do it?
Yeah.
I guess that is the biggest.
What would you suggest? Like, if you were to step a client through, or step some of the viewers through, what would you suggest are the trigger points as to which you should engage a VA service?
When you're stressed and grumpy and not coping in your personal life. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess if you are micromanaging and not getting through your to-do list and you're focusing on the detail rather than the big picture, and if you can really ask yourself, where am I best to spend my time? What are my talents? What am I here to do? Where am I making my money? Am I making my money sitting here typing up my newsletter? No, I make money when I'm working with my clients, but I don't get any clients unless I send out my newsletter.
Yeah.
So get somebody else to send out the newsletter so you can focus on other marketing. How else can I get my clients? Yeah. So spending all day being perfect, getting things perfect and fiddling around with your website and, as I say, sending out your newsletter and doing all those things is all well and good, but it's not paying the bills.
And it's sometimes things that are quite time consuming and not necessarily our exact skill set.
Yeah, I know. Like one of my clients, she says, how long would it take you to send out my newsletter and put a blog up on my website? And I said, well, probably an hour by the time we did the newsletter and did the blog and, formatted it. And she went, oh my goodness. So not the day that it takes me then.
Exactly.
Yeah, so she was spending a whole day doing that.
Yeah.
Whereas she could have spent her day with your clients or doing other things that are more valuable in her business to grow the business.
That's right. I think one of the trigger points for me, when I started my business was every new client I got, I had this vision of outsourcing my life, and I did outsource it in my personal life first. So I got the cleaner and the gardener and the car wash and like all those things to make that part of my life just that bit easier so I could concentrate on work. And then, of course, the things that I'm not skilled at, I do like to, engage in a great team that can make the whole thing look wonderful. And, in this day and age as well, everybody is putting out such great content and looks so awesome. You can't be backyard anymore. The days of the photocopy letterbox drop are over.
I know. Yeah. And having a good team around you, and that's the other thing, as a busy entrepreneur and mother myself, I needed, you need to surround yourself with a supportive team. You can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
And, behind every successful person is a successful support network. That's basically what we are, as a support network to take the pressure off you.
Yeah, that's great. And so if somebody is looking to outsource an element of their business, say their newsletter, for instance, and, they've never done it before, what are the things that they should look for when engaging a contractor, would you say, Lois?
Well, I guess it depends on what business they're in, but the biggest thing I find, and when I'm employing contractors or people, or even, even stuff you're doing in your personal life, when you want someone to come in and do a job for you, to me, it's all about attitude. It's skill, yeah, definitely. You want someone who knows what they're doing, but attitude, and in the field that I'm in, we want our clients to feel at ease that they have passed over this part of or task, part of their business, and confident that they can then let it go and then go and focus on something else. You don't want to be passing on a job to somebody else and then thinking, have they done it? Can I rely on them? I've given them a date. Is my newsletter going to go out on time?
Yeah.
So I think the attitude of the person you're giving the work to is like a can-do attitude, and nothing is a problem, and they don't get stressed because if the VA or whoever you're passing the work on to comes across as being stressed and all of that sort of thing, you're not going to relax.
No. And, some of us may even not want to give them too much work so that they're not overwhelmed as well, which then doesn't solve the problem at all.
Yeah. So I think trust, trust that you have enough of a personal relationship that you feel comfortable working with them. Trust that they're going to do a good job, that they're reliable, they have a can-do attitude, and nothing seems to be a problem. And yeah, I think you've got a match made in heaven.
I agree. I was just thinking it's really the same advice you'd give when you're looking for an employee, when you're looking for a partner, when you're looking for whatever.
And I've employed, I've in a previous life, I was in HR, and so I've employed a lot of people too. And I honestly think that attitude everything. Definitely employing people that have the right attitude, because at the end of the day, you can teach skill, you can learn skill.
Yeah.
You can't really teach or learn attitude. It just is something that you have. Good attitude is just something that you have.
So would you suggest somebody tries a few agencies, or just interviews and gets a hunch for it, gives a project, see how you go? Is that how you would approach it?
I guess it's up to the individual. The individual client looking. I can't say yes or no either way, because it's how you like to operate. If someone's a try before you buy kind of person, then yeah, maybe give them something to try and see how you work together. Some people you just don't click with. Doesn't matter how good they are, it's just a personality thing.
Yeah.
Somebody else might love the way they operate. So it really would depend on how you like to work. You don't want to sign over your whole everything to somebody and then find that it becomes too big a drain on everybody. Depends what you've got going on, and whether it's a big project, small project.
Well, I suppose one thing is, start small with a project and then move on from there.
I would definitely recommend, and this is what I do with all my clients, is definitely I talk to them first. I don't just, if someone says, hey, we're thinking of this project, or, would you like to do something for me, or, have heard about your services, I always jump on the phone with them first. Yep. And always get a feel for, okay, well, tell me about your business and what is it that you do and what sort of support are you needing, and actually then you get a better feel for, yes, we can help you, or no, we can't, or the client says, look, I need these particular skills, maybe we don't have them.
Yeah.
But it's really is, and I think any business is about people and relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree with you there. And
Mm,
the better that we can build our relationships with our potential clients and our clients,
mm,
the better the outcome will be.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure. And so I know you're very busy managing so many clients, but and you were pretty blessed, I've got to say, in having a business kind of appear for you. And it's almost the way that I moved into mine as well. I had clients before I decided, or before I realised that people actually wanted this seriously and to go into it on a serious level. But for people who, are looking for having more clients, what would you say your business success has been due to?
Relationships and
Yeah, cool.
attitude is what I've been talking about.
Yeah.
The growth of the Busy Beavers team has come all from word of mouth. You know, we have not even started to promote it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's all been one person's told somebody else who's told somebody else, we've done a good job. They say, hey, go and see Lois because, oh my goodness, she saved my ass, and we were just there. We're just there. We have an attitude that says, yes, we can do this. We will do whatever it takes to make sure that you are successful. And so really it's that. It's building up the relationship, building up the rapport, open communication, honesty and integrity, and people will refer
Yeah.
you. Clients will say, hey, I know this person, to somebody else who then becomes another client. Two people tell two people tell two people. And it just goes from there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It doesn't
terrific.
matter what business you run, whether it's a bricks and mortar business.
Yeah.
I live in a reasonably small town. Same as here, you have a coffee shop that's really well supported, and then new owners come in, and it's not as good anymore. And it only takes a few weeks, and before you know it, that successful business has no clients coming in the door.
Yeah.
Because it's all
Yeah.
about the service that you give, or the lack of service that you give. Mm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even though
That's
it's a big world out there, it really is just like a small community.
Oh, especially with you having international clients and
Oh,
working in multiple time zones and
oh, yeah. And you'll actually find when you get involved in an industry, well, even as entrepreneurship and industry, I guess it is, when you start to see how small a world it really is.
mm, yeah, that's really great. Now, Lois, you've been around business and, as you say, an entrepreneur for some years now. So I imagine you've got a library in your head of all the books and things that you've read. What would you say is your ultimate? And you can have a couple.
Yeah, it's funny because, and I mean, as you say, but even before I was an entrepreneur, I was in the corporate world, and I've always been in
Yeah.
sales, and it's like you go to this training and that training and read this book and read that book, and you go to that webinar, and there's all these. So books, it's not necessarily books that I look at, but I'm constantly learning and growing through all forms of media.
Yeah.
And so I can't really put my hand on one thing, but what I will say is, as much as business tools and learning about business skills, I think the biggest thing for me in my life and in my business is mindset and mental attitude, and I train myself in that as much as I do in anything else. And I also believe that in this world we have to, it's changing so rapidly, and if you are in a field that uses technology like we are, and like most, I guess, online entrepreneurs are using the technology of the day. When you think back to 2 years ago, there was no Facebook Live. There was no, lots of things weren't as they are now. It's changing so rapidly. And so one of the books that I have loved, and it's not necessarily a business book, but people do use it for their staff, and it's called Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes.
Have you heard of that? Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a little book.
It is a
By
little book.
a little book. It literally takes half an hour to read it.
Yeah.
It's not very big. By Dr. Spencer Johnson, if people are wanting to look it up. but really, and it's like a fable.
Yes.
It's about a couple of mice, yeah. But the moral of the story is you need to keep your eye on the changing world, or you get left behind. So whether that's, so an attitude of not being stuck in the past, an attitude of, keeping abreast of what's happening now, being one step ahead of the competition, being able to shift direction of, if things in your business aren't working today, then don't keep doing it. Look at what the problem is. How can I do this better? How should I be doing this now? And yeah, keeping abreast of stuff. So that would be my recommendation.
Absolutely brilliant. And
yeah,
so who's your current guru?
Well, see, once again, it's there is no one guru. And I think the biggest thing for me is this mindset stuff.
Yeah, so it's in that realm.
In that realm. And so one of the books that has sat with me, and therefore I guess she's not necessarily a guru, but I just love what she has created and her messaging. And that's Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Power, The Secret.
Yeah.
And she wrote a book called The Power. And that literally changed my life, that book. It was so powerful, the Power book. And it's all about, you have the power within you, and you can do whatever you set your mind to, if you feel passionately about it. You can, And so I guess Rhonda Byrne and The Power would be a guru, if you'd like to call her a guru.
Beautiful. We'll have to look her up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lois, thank you so much for being with us today and letting us know more about, tips on hiring a VA, when and how. And, obviously all of our viewers can contact you, and I would absolutely encourage our viewers to do that if you're feeling any overwhelm at all. Lois can sort you out, other than anything that needs to be physically done in your home.
Well, I'm sure we can find a beaver that's in the local area.
Oh my goodness, that's the next step. Thanks so much for being with us today, Lois.
You're welcome, Co. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and your audience.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.